So what do you need to do here? You pick this this is called C-clip ring. You pick the C-clip ring in the center using the heavy duty forceps, and you align the C-clip ring on the center of hole and push directly in. Once it's in, make it horizontal so you can see it, and once it's horizontal, do the same thing for another one, and then repeat the same process for all the insertion tools, as many as you want to screen the grid or you want to clip the grids, not just maybe you plan to screen them later or you want to clip them today. So I will do 8 first and then do the rest later. Once the C-clip ring is in, want to hold them, use the flat surface, push them down to bring them all the way on the edge, so you can see the C-clip ring is aligned to the circumference of the insertion tool, and repeat the process for all of them. You can do this even while you just insert the C-clip ring, then you will not, if you're confident, you will not forget. If you think you might forget, you do it just after insertion of the C-clip inside, or you can do it all together, what I did. Okay, once these are ready, my assembly is ready here. This is called the C-clip clipping station. Let's have several reservoirs, 2 reservoirs, and then have a ring, and this is the clipping station. So it have a grid box hold space for the grid box. We call grid box holder. This is called clip. We use this ring to clip and hold the grid in place. It has, you see the hole here. We move on the position where we clip insert the C-clip ring on the clips, and this can go back and forth like that. And I will keep it in this position where we can have wide open space, so we can put the clips and also the grid, and then we will move it here to lock the position, and then we can put the the insertion tool in this, and then we're going to push it on from the top to insert the C-clip ring into the clips. Okay, I will explain the rest of the part later. So before doing anything, you need to cool down. Keep this away so you don't get any moisture get accumulated on the insertion tools or any tool you want to use later. Make sure before using it, make sure it's reached to the liquid nitrogen temperature, and how you know that it will stop bubbling once it's at liquid nitrogen temperature. Oh, one is kind of clearance and then build this, but it's already built. If you want, you can also keep it close. Especially if you're working in open area where you don't have humidity control environment. And fill this on the top of this metal part, but to use it you don't want to fill too much because you might have a low visibility once it's too filled with liquid nitrogen, and you might have hard time to operate the moving the grade here and there. So I would recommend this. You put the liquid nitrogen, fill the liquid nitrogen slightly above, so your grade is always in the liquid nitrogen, but then not deep in. So you're you touching your hand, your hands are touching to liquid nitrogen, or your tweezers get too cold. You cannot even push them, right? So. Just to make sure they all have sequence. Now we need to get your grid boxes. Use this, take out the tube. Which tube? This one?
Yeah, this one. This one.
Carefully remove the tube from the liquid nitrogen diode. Bring your small diode close to the liquid nitrogen, so to reduce the air time while your tube is in the air. Use this large forceps and tweezers, hold the tube and then open it. But before touching the grid boxes, make sure it's cold enough. It's at liquid nitrogen temperature. If it is not cold, you're going to warm up your sample. Once it's warmed up, everything is warmed up. Okay. So when that's cooling, what I do, I usually like to put all the whatever number, the clips I need, I put them in the liquid nitrogen, so I don't have to go back and forth out of liquid nitrogen. So we have, how many grids are we loading? Maximum 11. Okay. I can use this, and then I will use another tool.
These cassettes should include the Euro sample. Yeah,
Just your zig tag.
Yeah.
We're just doing rig eye today.
The rig eye already first, and then rig eye. So the 6 and 5.
I also have a grid box holder tool. Usually I put them here, pull it down. So when you put the clips in the liquid nitrogen, keep holding while they get cold, otherwise they will fly, like float on the liquid nitrogen, and they might end up on some of the grid storage boxes, and then it will be hard to take it out. Okay. Take out your grid boxes. Keep in mind, be fast while you're transferring the grid boxes. How many we have here?
We have the 6 box.
6 boxes.
Yeah.
You want 6? Another day we face 6.
So the grid number is 11, right? So
Now we have a 6 here already.
the 6 box, and from those boxes,
So before using the insertion tool, you want to cool them down. So what I do, I put them in the liquid nitrogen, but I don't want to put all of them because this make it too crowded. So I usually put the 4 at a time. Okay. Use the screwdriver to unscrew this. Okay. And then use forceps to move the clip. What is this? Okay. Move the clip where you want to manipulate your grid. Okay, and hold your grid, put on the top of C clip, make it centered. So how you make it center? If you see the shiny part on the edge of the grid all around, it means it's a center. If you're not, it means it's not centered. Once your grid is centered, move the guide, what you call the brass, right? Brass metal guide ring on the top of the grid like this. And now your grid is kind of stay on same location. It will have a very low chance to move around. And by that time your insertion tool is cold enough, and then slowly move the insertion tool on the grid, and from the top slightly push it in, and your C clip ring should be inserted into clip. And to make sure whether it's a clip, you come and check this. There should not be any C ring, and if there is no C ring, it means it's most likely it's clipped. But you have to make sure that it's clipped properly. So So what do? You slightly shake the grid, and then if not falling off, hold it properly and move into one of the slot here, and then repeat the procedure for all of them. Okay. And now once you do one, it should be very straight. You might see that it's too fast, but it's not really. Once you know this, it should be fast enough. Okay. So that's number 2. Okay. Number 1 and then number 2. Okay, now take a step back. First thing you need to do is secure your grid that you don't want to load. Okay. These are now kind of secure. Now, next step. Okay, so we don't need this. We need this, but not that one. And this can close. This. We need more liquid nitrogen. So first you need to put the bottom part first, and then it's like this. Put the bottom one first and slide in. Then we lift. So the longer one goes on the front side. Put the handle have a notch. It should fit in the pin over there in the bottom. You see the bottom has a pin.
Yeah.
It should fit in there like this. And then the smaller one goes on that side. And now it's ready to pour the liquid nitrogen. In principle, you should use this, but initially you can use, because we don't have any grid or anything, you can use them. While you cooling down this, you better also cool down the nano cap. It's called the nano cap or capsule at the same time. And another thing is you need to put it here is the cassette. But since our cassette is already cold, I will put that in later. Some people they do use this and can keep open while you adding liquid nitrogen, but it's recommended that you keep, once it stop bubbling, or even not in bubbling while you are adding liquid nitrogen, you can close this. So this one have opening on the side. See, somewhere here, so all the vapors will come out from there. And if you want to do that, you have to add liquid nitrogen from here. Put some filter paper in case we have any dust on the liquid nitrogen, and will be filtered out. Should be filtered out, not necessarily. And you need to pay attention. There is 2 holes on this side. You don't want to fill that much that is the liquid nitrogen goes on that side. Otherwise, it start to spill out. No. Oh, that's I want to save the previous grade, so that's why I need 2 more of these boxes. Anything you use, make sure that don't have a white mark. Okay. Since that's cold enough, and this is already cold, you can see. And I also have the cassette in. What do you do? Right now we're on the hard surface, some more stable ones, so it's exactly does not move. And now you take out the lid from bottom and do the same thing. Put the bottom part first, and then put the top one. Latch it. Okay, you have to take out everything on top to take out the cassette. So since it's already in liquid nitrogen, there is a knob here, and you can just quickly move in and then hold your cassette using this pin. Push the pin and that will hold the cassette, and quickly remove it. Do it straight. You don't, if you do like push left or any direction, it might stuck. So you do it straight. Push the pin just auto straightly and quickly move it here. Okay. You can take this out so it will not get warmed up. Put the lid again and put everything back in position. So some people like to do this, like they want to like this, so they can just move, operate like that way. But if you slow enough, you can. It's very slow. You can do like this. If you're fast enough, I don't think you need that. So one thing is keep adding liquid nitrogen. Okay. So another why I don't like that, because you have very limited space to move this and that, because you hold them, then you move it again, then move it like that. So that's why that make me slow. And that's why I don't like that, because I can do it without accumulating any contamination. So I need some look. Okay, so you can go on that side. Come on. Can I have a faucet, please? So what happened here is it's a little bit bent, and if it is bent, then it's stuck. Okay, I can do this. What I needed, number 1 and 2. So usually I put them here, so just pull down. And what else I need here is make it cold. And while you know operating this, you better keep it close. Once it stops bubbling, once it's cold enough, so if you don't have to save any other previous grade, you don't have to do this. Since I have to save it, then I need to make a space for the next new ones. Okay. Hide them. Keep in mind, if they are loose, you're going to lose your grade box, and if you drop somewhere, it means you're losing your grades. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2. Okay, and now we're gonna need this. Okay, I need to remove it on the side. Okay. So it's have a 12 slots. So number 1, 2, 3, right? So your first grid is number 2. So I touch all of them from the top to make sure they're all the way bottom. And see, slightly, you don't want to put the pressure. Slightly like tap the grid. Makes. Okay, I need this again. So that's the problem. If you don't hold it properly, sometimes it's drop, and if it drop, then it becomes hard to pick it up. Okay. Okay. Usually if you drop it, most of the cases you lose the grid, but it's okay. We don't need that. Okay, I want to put the standard grid here. That's why. Okay. So that part is done. safe. Transfer grid to the different computer. Usually for this and then loading this, I just take 30 to 40 minutes. That's enough for me. But we have to do other things in between, then obviously it's going to take more time. So another possibility, if you want, like, okay, worry about that, you can clip grid when you have free time. So when you want to use the microscope, so your grids are already clipped, right? You can immediately insert and load the grid into the microscope. So make sure when you putting the cassette in the nano can, release this pin, shake a little bit, and feel it whether you feeling it's light as compared when you have cassette. If it's feel, it means it's already dropped the cassette inside. If you still have it, means the cassette is still on this holder. So take this out, shake a little bit, make sure it's all the way down, and then close this, and we are done on this part. Okay, I will keep like this. In case something happens, we have to come back and then reload it. So keep it cold for an hour or something, and then you can come and then clean everything. Okay. For the faucet, I was a little extra careful because if there's a tip bend or damage, then basically they are useless, right? Okay, so we want some liquid material to go downstairs. You can take this, you can get the deodorant, and your grids are saved, right? So we don't have to worry about right away.